Hey guys, welcome to recitation number 1. We'll be doing 2 problems in this recitation. The first one is a conversion of units problem, a little confusing, but you get it. And the next one is a vector problem. So this is the conversion problem. It says, at the time of the American Revolution, the standard unit for salt was a pud. This rather substantial amount contained 40 font, which was the Russian equivalent of a pound. So 1 pud contains 40 font, and 1 font was the Russian equivalent of a pound. And 1 Russian pound, so I'm going to write this, 1 pud is 40 font, 1 font is 1 Russian pound, and 1 Russian pound is 1.10763 US pound. Okay? Okay. And then 2.2 US pound is 1 kilogram. 2.2 US pound is 1 kilogram. So how many kilograms are in 1 pud? So 1 pud contains 40, which is 40 fonts, which is 1 Russian pound, so that is 40 Russian pounds, which is 1.07 US pounds. So that will be 40 times 1.10763 US pounds. So, but how many kilograms? So divided by 2.2. So this will give me the number of kilograms. Is that okay? The number of kilograms in 1 pud. Okay? That's number of kilograms in 1 pud. So that will give me about 20.139 kilograms in 1 pud. Okay. Now, the fabulous rosemary, is it focaccia bread, is made in Canada that is rather infamous for being high in salt. It measures out 1 teaspoon of salt per 100 grams of bread. Okay. So 1 teaspoon per 100 grams. The serving size is 50 grams for 1 slice. And there are 16 slices. So 50 grams for 1 slice. 16 slices. So that will be 16 times 50 grams. So that will be half of 60. Is that okay? That will be half of 60. So that will be 800 grams. Okay. So we have 800 grams of bread, but we need the number of tea salt. So a teaspoon of salt has a mass of 5.69 grams. Okay, good. So the next step, is that okay? The next step now is for us to find how many kilograms of teaspoon of salt, or how many teaspoons of salt are in the bread. Okay, so now let's see. 1 teaspoon of salt is 0.00569 kilograms. Okay? So how many number of teaspoons of salt are in 1 pud? 1 pud is this kilograms. So number of teaspoons of salt in 1 pud is this divided by that. That will be 20.139 divided by 0.00569. So when we do that, that will give us 3539.3673. So I'm going to wipe this off. Okay. Let me just write it here. 3539.3673. Is that okay? So that's the number of teaspoons of salt in 1 pud. Now let's find the number of teaspoons of salt in 1 bread. And then we can now see how much bread will be made from 1 pud by dividing the number of teaspoons in 1 bread divided by the number of teaspoons in 1 pud. Is that okay? So number of teaspoons in 1 bread, so is 1 teaspoon per 100 gram. Is that okay? And they are 800 grams. Is that okay? Because it has 16 slices and 50 grams per slice. So if it's 1 teaspoon per 100 gram, for 800 grams, that would be what? 8 teaspoons. 8 teaspoons. So, how many loaves of bread can you make from a pud becomes number of bread loaves equals number, let's say 1 pud divided by, so 1 pud is this, where is it? Number of teaspoons in 1 pud, sorry. Number of teaspoons in 1 pud divided by number of teaspoons in 1 bread. So that will give us 3539.3673 divided by number of teaspoons divided by 8. And if you do that correctly, give you 442.4. So approximately 442 loaves of bread you can make from that. Okay, 442.4. That becomes the correct answer for that. Okay, let's go to the nearest whole loaf. So I'll just do 442. Approximately 442. So let's go to the next problem, for the vector problem, really quick. See how we do that. Okay. Now for the second problem, it says, while exploring the woods, I find a trail on the Pacific Coast banana slug, and following this slimy trail as follows. First, I traveled 20 meters, 30 degrees north of east. So let's be careful. Okay? Let's be careful. Let's take this correctly. 30 degrees, 20 meters, 30 degrees north of east. So I start from here. I travel 20 meters at 30 degrees north of east. So from east, I measure 30 degrees towards the north. This 30 degrees north of east. Then from here, say I start from point A, now I'm in point B. Then from there, I travel 30 meters, 10 degrees north of west. So this is north, this is west. North of west, 10 degrees is here. 10 degrees north of west, 30 meters. That's longer than 20. Then I'm here. So at point C, I travel 10 meters, 20 degrees west of south. 10 meters, 20 degrees west of south. So this is west, this is south. 20 degrees west of south is this one. 10 meters. So my net is like this from tail to head. So I'm asked to find that net, resultant and direction. Okay? The resultant and direction. So since they are free vectors and position vectors, I can draw all this as one diagram, like this. All having the same origin. 30 degrees here for 20 meters. So this is north, this is east, this is west, this is south. Then I have 10 degrees here for 30 meters. Then I have 20 degrees here for 10 meters. So these two diagrams are the same. Make sure you guys can see me clearly. Yep. So those two diagrams are the same. So this is what I have now find the net instead of this complicated diagram. So I work with this to find the net. Okay? So to do that, really easy. I get my sum of x component and sum of y component. So this will be the sum of x will be 20 cosine 30 degrees, because it's positive for the x, minus 30 cosine 10, minus 10 sine 20, not cosine, because I'm going to the x, 10 sine 20 degrees. So this will give you 17.32 minus, I think this is 29.54. So let's do 30 cosine 10. Let me get my calculator. So 30 cosine 10, 29.54, like I said. And then minus 10 sine 20, 3.42. So if you do that, you're going to get 15.64 meters. So that's your total x. Is that okay? Minus 15.64 meters. So let's get total y. Total y will be 20 sine 30, positive. 30 sine 10, also positive. Then minus 10 cos 20, because it's minus negative direction. Okay? Good. So I do that. 20 sine 30 will give me 10. So I do 30 sine 10, 5.2, 10 cos 20, 9.4. So I do that, minus 9.4 plus 5.2 plus 10, that gives us 5.8. Is that okay? 5.8 meters. So now let me get my net. So to get my net, I clean this diagram now. Okay. So all those displacements will become only 2. Minus 15.6 is going to the negative y-axis, so this is plus x plus y. So minus 15.4.64 meters. So I can take out the minus. I've already taken the direction. And then 5.8 meters going down. 5.8. No, sorry, it's positive y. So going up. 5.8 meters. So my net is going to be like this. So that's my r from tail to head. So my r square will be square root of 5.8 square plus 15.64 square. Is that okay? So I do that. 15.64 square plus 5.8 square (278.2). So I take square root of that. 16.68 meters. So that becomes my displacement, the resultant displacement. So now what is the direction? So I find this angle theta, but they want the direction north of west. Is that okay? So north of west, so they want theta. So tangent of theta, this is north, this is west, so this is north of west. Okay? So tangent of theta is opposite 5.8 over adjacent 15.64. So theta is the tan inverse of 5.8 over 15.64. See what that gives us. (0.371). So tan inverse of 0.371, see what that gives us. 20 degrees. 20.3 degrees, so approximately 20 degrees. And those are the correct answers, okay? And then you're done with this problem. Okay? Thank you guys, and have a good one.